What? Welcome to What is this podcast? My name is Pepper5. This is the 72nd episode. I'm not joined by my friend Victor, my co-host Victor, because of corona issues and all that. But today we have a very interesting guest. And if you're watching on YouTube, you've already seen him because we're recording a video. And he's the second guest we're doing a video podcast after Neneke. If you haven't watched Neneke, that's the previous episode. That's episode 71. Shout out to Neneke. And our guest today is quite a radical. I would like to describe him as a radical person. He does so many things. He's a research. I like to call people researchers because I learned that conspiracy theorist is not the best polite term to use.
It's not even about politeness.
A
conspiracy.
Come closer to the mic.
The term conspiracy theorist
Yeah.
was actually brought into the limelight by the CIA.
Yeah.
Because after investigation, people started questioning JFK's assassination, alleged assassination. So when you look up the word conspiracy, it actually means a plot, a big plot, a big decisive plot.
Okay.
And the theory, we all know what theory means, something that hasn't been yet validated.
So would you consider yourself that?
Nah, on some things, yeah. On some things like flat earth, okay, I consider myself a conspiracy theorist. But on things like vaccines and the Bill Gates.
But you're an avid researcher.
Yeah.
For that, I'm right, yeah?
Yeah.
And you're also a musician.
Yeah, I'm an
So I
artist.
think we should start on the music side.
Alright.
And just tell us, first of all, introduce yourself because I haven't done justice by saying your name and just tell us a bit about yourself.
So, Clayton,
Yeah.
also known as Clay OG Stoner, Mr. 420. Yeah, so I'm a rapper, started from way back in 2010. Professionally, 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a minute now.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've been doing rap music. I write songs, I write poems. I do graphics design. I do almost a lot of things.
Yeah.
I talk to people, and I'm a researcher and teacher. Not teacher like how the system makes you know teachers, but I educate people on new things that we are not told publicly. Yeah. So a bunch of things. I'm like a box of chocolate. I don't know what's coming.
Okay. I'm meant to be aware that you were supposed to release an album this year.
Yeah.
Around April, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, April.
Uh-huh.
I was supposed to do another 420
Yeah.
album, like the second volume. But pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, so
This being the year that 420 lasted 1 month.
Yeah,
Tell us,
that's why I had to.
Tell us. Did anything change for you?
Yeah, it was just the same. What?
Eh?
Nothing changed. Just more people posting about, marijuana. More people.
Are you the type of person like when people realize something and you're already on it, you're like, you guys have been on this shit for...
Nah, I don't tell people. Let them enjoy their fun. Let them have their fun. But at the end of the day, you on your own side, you'll be like, you'll get used to it.
So was the album done in the first place? Or it was
songs.
just...
This is what I did. I had done like 3 songs.
Yeah.
I wanted it to have like 12 songs like the other one. But I had done 3 songs. I had written the others, but I hadn't recorded. So it was like 2 weeks to everything. And the Rona started affecting us in March.
Yeah.
In Kenya. It started in
Thereabout,
March.
towards the end of
Yeah,
March.
so I was like anticipating like we'll record as we see how things go. And then you've seen everything with the lockdowns.
Yeah.
So everything and everyone had to change their schedules and stuff. And I don't like pushing people. A lot of people that I wanted to be on the album went ahead and got really preoccupied. So I decided to release some of them as singles. And on that day, I released an EP called 3 Joints.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did an EP instead. 3 Joints, which had 3 tracks.
My next question to you is, there's a song I was listening called Mainstream.
Yep.
And it has a lot of... I don't know how to put it. I'm really careful with my words.
Just a conspiracy.
Yeah, Let me allow me to use that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can use. You know,
Okay, there's some facts you
it's not.
said.
It's not. Let me just say. Yeah, there are some facts.
Like the
and
dynasties.
and the reason people will come with that, there are some facts, because these are things that have been released to the public.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because like before, I actually came to accept that the masks do not help but make things worse.
You think so?
I don't think so. Now I know so. It's not about thinking. Do you know the percentage of oxygen that you're required to take?
Is it 21?
Thank you, 21.
Yeah.
With a mask, do you know it goes to what? 17.
Mm-hmm.
I posted, Instagram flagged it. When immediately after that, I posted a video. Now, someone who works at a hazardous place, they have tools to test. He tested with a mask.
You had any hashtag on your post?
Yeah.
What was it on?
COVID-19 or something.
I think they are flagging anything that's...
Yeah,
That's,
and I'll come back to that. In
Okay.
2019, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and a lot of social media sites, they decided that, I don't know if you've seen Event 201.
Yeah, the one that happened last year,
Yeah,
October.
Yeah, the one they're calling, like they were
They
preparing.
simulated.
Yeah.
They simulated.
If you had what the media said, they say that they will flag anything that's contrary to the organizations that are supposed to be leading those.
Don't you think that is because they're trying to prevent the spreading of fake news, especially in a time like now?
Okay, they're preventing fake news from spreading.
Just look at it from a perspective.
I wanna use your perspective a bit. Dr. Fauci has been on the limelight. I've seen even Kenyan doctors quoting him. Cuomo.
Who's Fauci? For those who don't know.
No, the one leading the... Fauci is actually the leader of, what is it called? National Health in America, something.
Okay.
So he's the head of them, let's say head of the doctors or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was head of the task force that was supposed to take charge of the coronavirus and how things went. Let's say Yendo Kagwe or US.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you were hearing how they were relaying things, him and Trump, there was some sort of difference.
Because Trump was telling people to drink sanitizer.
Now let me tell you something. Trump will say a lot of things. There's a day Trump said weird numbers. I went ahead and looked why. There's a video Trump says, yeah, I do know that sometimes there are figures I give that are not accurate because I deal with a lot of numbers. Do you know it made sense to me?
No, it doesn't. You're the president. You're responsible for over 300 people, 300 million people.
He doesn't stop doing his job, even if he's the president. There's a job he had, and he dealt with numbers. Am I lying?
You're talking about the Trump empire.
Donald Trump still works.
No, it's his son.
Doesn't he handle the papers?
Arguably.
Thank you.
Doesn't
he handle the papers? Do things not come to him at the end of the day?
If you're in office, I'm just looking at the constitution. If you're in office, you're supposed to let go of any businesses you had previous. Even in Kenya, I think it applies. Your sole purpose in
even the example you're using is worse because we know if I can use Muhammad Ali, what he said recently.
Yeah.
The whole family is in charge of some tenders in Naivasha, or is it Nakuru?
Okay, that's
power has a way.
That's an anomaly. Let me just use it that way. But look at it, America. You know you're under a huge magnifying glass if you're the president. So you can't conduct business the way you normally did.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying
let me use that
his
America.
son has taken over.
Let me use that same America place. Because I'll still argue with this. If this is my son, whether I take office or not, I'll still help him handle the papers because I was the one handling the papers. I was good at my job. Let's give Trump credit where due. Trump is a good goddamn businessman. He will turn numbers.
I beg to differ.
You can beg to differ, but he will turn numbers. He may not maximize.
He's a marketing genius.
He may not. Whatever.
About business, I don't know.
Yo, fam.
About business, I don't know.
If you want to say marketing, 6ix9ine is there out there marketing controlling. There are people who are putting their brain to work.
Did you know that all those Trump establishment, the towers, he only owns like 3 of them in New York.
Yeah.
And yet there are around, if I'm not wrong, around 28 buildings with the name Trump on them.
Yeah, because he isn't even the owner of the name Trump.
Yeah, so it just gives you
He is junior.
rights to the
He is
name.
Junior. Bruh,
You get?
I get all that what you're saying, but let's give him credit. He's been working. There's a reason he's constantly on people's name, on people's mouth. You know, if he was like ni system ya Kenya ni babako amesaidia umefika pale umefika, we would have known, because at the end of his efforts wouldn't be showing. People wouldn't be crediting him. That's my point.
Okay, let's
Because
backtrack
I knew Trump. I knew Trump after there was a time he was competing so much with Richard Branson.
Yeah.
That's when I started looking at them from all those angles. Higher. But
Let's backtrack
Rudy,
to the oxygen part.
Yeah, to Rudy oxygen.
17%.
Yeah. When you wear a mask, it's 17, 18. And that guy tested. I posted the video. I'll still repost. I'll even put it on the highlights. So he tested, and he's actually a worker. He's not even a doctor. He's a worker in some facilities that you need to determine the air around you if it's enough for you to work there. So he was replying to people who were saying they're getting headaches from wearing a mask the entire day. Higher. Dr. Rashid Buttar, he was a former military doctor and graduate. He's done his own interviews. They are online. You can just go and search Rashid Buttar and Judy Mikovits. Judy Mikovits is the one who actually exposed Dr. Fauci. Judy Mikovits exposed Fauci because she worked with Fauci for some time. They came, discredited her. She signed a non-disclosure agreement for 5 years. She wasn't supposed to say anything. So it ended actually the same time the corona is spreading. So if you've seen, there's a video that was circulating for Plandemic.
Yeah. Actually, it's one of my bullet points.
Yeah, Plandemic, that
because
video.
it's in your music.
Yeah.
You're saying that it's not a pandemic.
It's not a pandemic.
It's a plandemic.
Because I love reading.
Okay.
I took a book from microbiology.
So just to constantly check box what you're saying. You've said masks are not good for your health. You've said that.
Yeah, and even doctors who wear masks, they don't wear masks to prevent
But do they
viruses.
prevent corona?
Nah, masks protect you from dust and dirt. A virus can easily go through. You can look up the sizes of the virus. It's like putting a wire mesh to stop mosquitoes.
Okay, now you've said that. Okay, now let's trickle into the pandemic. You've mentioned event 201.
201, yeah, event 201 was a simulation of what if virus.
So what you're saying is like they had planned all this.
Yeah, and it's not even in 201 because you can go to nature.com. I think nature.com is the one used by scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2015, you can just search it up. They posted an article of SARS, a man-made like virus, but virus.
SARS was back in 202.
Yeah.
201.
There was MERS and SARS, 202 and 205.
Yeah.
There was MERS and SARS. And then in 2015, Dr. Fauci is actually, and Obama's administration, they're responsible for some 3.4 million grant that was given to Wuhan Institute. That was because if you just go to nature.com, you'll find the article there. It was in Chapel Hill, some university in Chapel Hill. Let me just look it up. So what happened, they're saying the doctors who actually decided to mix the two, the SARS and the MERS, they were trying to like find its potent version so that they can make antidote, if that's what I can say, because they have to look for the most deadliest form of the virus to extract the most helpful. So according to that, it's in 2015. The article was written by, where is it? I hope I haven't deleted it.
Okay, you can constantly search. As you're searching, for it to be a pandemic, for a plan, it has to have stages and steps.
Yeah, it does.
So could you break it down in your eyes, if it's a pandemic, what was the first and what stage are we on?
After like seeing everything, because I will be realistic and say when everything started, I was like everyone else. Something bad is happening.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand what. But looking back, some people started mentioning every 10 years there's a virus outbreak. Every 10, I was like, again conspiracies. Because even me, there are things that are sent to me, I will read and find there's no even validating or evidence that backs up.
Like the 5G.
The 5G, this is what people misinterpret. The 5G has frequencies of up to what? This is what I know. 60 is it gigahertz? 60 gigahertz of frequency has potential to combine with the oxygen.
Yeah.
So it combining with oxygen, limited oxygen leads to what?
You tell me, bro.
You will faint. You will be unconscious.
Limited oxygen in your brain.
Exactly.
Okay.
You will be unconscious. Even if it's in your body, you will be weak. That's why people who are collapsing. I do not want to speculate because people will say that's just coincidence. But okay, here are the coincidences. Wuhan was among the first few cities, because I don't want people to say the only city, among the first few cities that rolled out 5G in 2019. Okay. Wuhan was among the first few cities that has in China that have the virology labs and stuff. Here's the point. A virus cannot quickly, according to what Judy Mikovic said, a virus cannot quickly just jump from one host to another, like just from animal direct to humans. There has to be some stages it has to go through. It has to try over and over. That's why there was SARS and MERS. Those naturally occurred. Okay? And China, that's why generally we've been seeing Asians wearing masks. It's not a stereotype. There are some places in Asia that they do need masks. But it's not even for the viruses. It's for the contamination around. Because if you look at those markets, I do agree, an octopus will be sliced on top, the blood will drip to another animal.
Yeah.
I do get it. But when you look at the result of those diseases that come from those viruses, it's something curable. Okay? This is not, quote unquote, curable, but people are somehow recovering. We do not have a vaccine.
So you're saying SARS and MERS are the ones that brought about COVID-19?
Those ones existed because they are both different from, like this one specifically, they said it was from the bat horse. The horseshoe bat.
Yeah,
the COVID-19, they specifically say that. But when you look up at the website, like the one on nature.com, it clearly states how, I have not found it, I'll still look it up.
No problem. Okay.
Listen, there are doctors who are saying, no, we should not conduct such an experiment. We should let me not say weaponize. We should not make it more potent. We should not make the disease more potent, okay? For us to find a cure, because it's not spreading everywhere. Similar case to Ebola. They didn't have a concern when it was just Africa. The moment Ebola spread to Europe, vaccines started getting made. But that time it wasn't business. Now it's business. Why? As I said, maybe Bill was just being cocky and stuff, but getting 20 times return for every unit of investment you put in, I think this guy, if he's the same guy who managed to steal some things from his Microsoft to grow, and then wakibishana na kina Steve Jobs, it feels like if you didn't do it first, that's on you. You get the point? I find it hard to believe that this same person wants us to be cured. Why? He is still the same person who, you can read articles of things he said. He said, if we work on vaccines, healthcare, reproduction, and all that, we can manage to decrease the population by 10 to 15%. I said people take it out of context. It doesn't mean decrease. He means to limit how it grows. Okay? But here's the point also. I find it hard to believe that this is the same person who is willing to spend billions and billions of money he's worked hard for to give to African countries when your father was in charge of Planned Parenthood, which was started by Margaret Sanger. And Margaret was a known narcissist, known supporter of anti-Seminists, known racist.
I mean, Hitler's kid never became Hitler. So I'm trying to understand the point.
Nah, I'm trying to show you something.
Yeah.
When Planned Parenthood started, what name was it given? The Negro Project. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Exactly. By who? Margaret. Did you know that as well?
No.
Exactly. Charles Darwin theory.
So you're relating both Margaret and Bill.
Yeah.
And they have the same agenda.
Exactly. Because it goes down through family. If you listen to Bill Gates talk about his father, he says his father has influenced him a lot. Because he says when his father used to come home, he used to involve all the children in what he does at work. The law and the Planned Parenthood. You see? And before it was changed to that name, it was the Negro Project. You can look it up, it's in history.
Okay.
And like even gynecology, the practice, how these things started, I do not deny to some extent they have helped us understand things, find cures and stuff. But there's a small percentage of people using these things for their benefit. There's a small percentage of people that think intermarrying and that say our family needs the best genes, the smartest genes. That's why you see that some people's racism isn't from that Africans are dumb and dumber. Me, I'm just looking for the most potent genes to continue running down my what? Bloodline. You can look at the Rothschild, how they both look. Skatai, people are supposed to take the physical features, but look at the entire family. They look like each other. The first person who snitched about banks was a Rothschild. After he snitched, his last name was deleted.
How will you delete someone's last name?
His last, you cannot.
On archives.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His last name is not there.
Okay, let's. I asked a question before we.
Plandemic.
Yeah, Plandemic. So I was asking which stage are we on, and
we are on the stage. We're on the stage
stages?
where we have created so many.
Yeah.
Let me support my claim.
Yeah.
It's a plandemic because of this. When people were so, when something becomes monotonous, people will get used to it. No matter how much scary it is, people will get used to it. We are having these cases.
Yeah.
You got used to it. I got used to it. People even started, unajua mtu. Do you know anyone who is even sick? People said yes, people said. But me, anytime someone said yes, I used to ask them, does this person have a pre-existing illness? I have my reason for that. Because when researching and listening to doctors, they said people are being diagnosed out of false things. Because someone has respiratory illnesses. Okay, you've decided the only way to keep yourself safe from each other and whatever is by quarantine. Quarantine number one, you shouldn't quarantine a healthy person. You should only quarantine the sick. That is how you manage something. Because the sick are
I
few.
remember that when maybe a cow has anthrax, it's the one that's
You've used even a very good example. No matter
aside.
how exposed it was to these others, that's the first one that you quarantine.
But look at it this way. If so many cows are having anthrax and you can't pinpoint because the testing rate is very low.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah.
So it's better you quarantine every cow.
Yeah.
Rather than have it risked.
You say the testing rate.
Yeah.
I will use a president, John Pombe Magufuli.
Yeah.
He said they're faking the test because he sent popo, goat, whatever, came back positive. So
and
he said,
in statistics, you know something called anomalies and false positives.
Yeah, false positives.
That could easily be that.
Let me go back to that.
Okay.
The people who were giving the reagents used for testing and the gadgets said that their gadgets were faulty. That's the same case that happened in US. When you look, these gadgets are coming from where? China. China is among the few places that handle their shit like Thanos, ASAP. I remember seeing 70,000, but still they recovered it among that 70,000. So it's like 10K were lost. Look at US, how it's suffering. There is an economic attack that we are not looking at here. There are people who are rich enough to play into China's game. Why? When I was listening to these rich people, I'll use one of them, George Soros. George Soros stated in 2015, I guess also, he doesn't like Trump. Directly, you can... The
Who is
interviews,
he? He's a...
George Soros, according to what Google will tell you, is a philanthropist like Bill Gates and a rich man willing to sell the world by helping out private organizations and parties like the LGBTQ and Black Lives Matter. But go and listen to the leaders of Black Lives Matter. Go and listen to them, what they say. George Soros is still the same person funding Antifa. Antifa is a group of riotists and arsonists who are used to destroy things during protests. They are hired. Leave BLM, Black Lives Matter is different. I'm trying to show you one thing. I'm trying to relate the pandemic, bro. It's a whole wide thing, but I'm trying to show you.
Okay.
Because they have the same cause. They have the same thing, fear, number one, and disorientation. No one knows what's happening. Am I lying? Do you know what's happening? Even the doctors themselves.
And it's a pandemic.
Thank you. That's what we only know. And what does the word pandemic bring to you? Fear. It doesn't give you comfort. It doesn't make you settle easily. Hata kawe ni ule mtu huko unatoka kwa nyumba, so hata the quarantine unaona it's nothing new. Now you start having some sort of fear. You get? People are snitching on each other. Let me show you why this thing is bad. Wearing a mask, we've been told, is a must. Okay, we've seen some people have tested. Doctors, there's a round table of doctors. You can go to londonreal.tv. There's a round table of 100 doctors, PhD, masters, very elite doctors. They were questioning each other. Do masks help? They were using, it was Zoom. So like any question they asked, it's a fixture of hand or you write a card, it's posted there. So it's easy to understand the interaction. These doctors all were in unison support saying the masks do not help, number one. Quarantine does not help, number two. People need to socialize and interact. Mental health is being affected and physical health as well. Look at riots. It's doing the same thing. Mental and physical health is being affected. Now they've brought in a new weapon, race. Race is being used effectively. Why? Now someone typically, just because they are in BLM, angry in the public, like when you saw for Chaz and Chop. See, they took over the city hall. They had their fun for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. No offense. How do you plant on top of grass? Mimi hata kasi jasoma agriculture, I know unafaa kulima nyasi, yo mchanga ndo upande, si ndio? Go and see the videos for Chaz, people saying we've started living on our own. There is no organization. Reading and watching movies about the Black Panthers, you had to study, understand, that's how you could join. You needed to be educated. We cannot just emotionally or impulsively react. It favors them. How? The rich are still making money. Which properties were destroyed during the riots? Downtown. Middle class. Seattle, uptown, there was a whole raid of cops. You cannot go to the rich people. When people were going rioting peacefully, how do you find bricks piled up together on every corner? That company is under those organizations, non-government, non-profitable organizations, that one is owned by Bill Gates. I'll send you the links that you can attach, if that will be better.
Just for reference point, I'll put annotations and also
the ones I mentioned about Bill Gates, I'll send
down
you
on
George
YouTube.
Soros, and even you can follow me at Clay OG Stoner on Instagram to understand more. Just to come quickly to this thing, Bill Gates is involved in looking for the vaccines. George Soros is funding with Bill Gates together to look for the vaccines. If you read and see the interviews of these two people, Gates doesn't care about us. He did the same in India. He went and got patents for seeds. You do not get a patent for something that's naturally occurring unless you want to profit of it. If you look, there's a woman who challenged him and she won. Quickly, George Soros has been recorded saying that he does not care about the social consequences of what he does. He's an amoral person, you understand? Just someone who does things for the benefit of him or herself. The rest is on you. So when you look at it from that perspective, there are things that will start making sense. Why is he, Bill Gates specifically, only saying, let's start with the blacks? We are not the most vulnerable. Last I checked, we are among the most healthiest people on earth. But why are we being used as the first ones? You can check, South Africa gave themselves. South Africa has recently put up a satanic church, satanic temple. There are things that cannot make sense when you look at the politics separately. But when you look at them together, they make sense.
Okay, I'm going to take a break and come back later.
This podcast is brought to you by Joomla.
We're back. And we were talking about the pandemic. So let's just jump right into it. And you were explaining to us how some different cards were used in the pandemic.
In both cases, the pandemic and the Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd murder, all that, it just has one common denominator. There is chaos. There is no organization. But there are still people making money. Okay, let me know. There are still people who are productive with this chaos. And those people are still the same, no matter where you look at it. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, the top 10. You see, if it's not the top 10, politicians are still gaining. I'm not lying. But the middle class and the low class, these are the most hurt. Yes, they cannot kill everyone because at the end of the day, our labor is important. workforce, the man labor, it is necessary for.
And plus, for money to make sense, you
Thank
need to
for-
be in a
because if
society.
they decide to remain their elites alone.
Yeah, it's just paper you'll have.
Yeah. So we are necessary, but for us, they are not necessary. Some other people can take their places. That's what I mean. But you cannot eliminate the entire world so that you stay alone. That's why I always tell people, it's not that it's a conspiracy to eliminate everyone. It's about control and their family, the dynasties. Let me put it that way.
They're protecting their interests.
Yeah, their interests at large. They think about their generations and generations. Many of us think about us. Our now. Not many of us.
Day to day.
Yeah, because that's what's stressing. Kitambo mtu angeamua. No one is even interested in school. You know how to talk. You come up with a skill. Either smith, what. And they work hard on that, on that profession. Whatever it was. Because there's a way it gave them money. Like there was a time it was, whatever. I'll just come to that later. My reason for saying it's a pandemic, it's because I've heard what the mainstream has to offer. I have seen the videos. I have seen Italy, people fainting, people collapsing in Wuhan. I have seen all those. And I've heard people saying Corona and 5G. I don't want to be mistaken. It's not Corona and 5G. It's this. 5G frequencies have an effect on the human body, specifically the respiratory system. There's a certain frequency range that affects the oxygen intake. I will not specify which specifically, but you can get the videos. There are people who've exposed it. When that happens, it inhibits and blocks like the flow of oxygen to your brain and blah blah blah. That's why people were fainting in Wuhan. That was his theory. That was one theory. Another one was that, yes, there was a virus in Wuhan, okay, that was putting people down. But the rate at which it was selective, old people, prior illnesses, it looks like a bioweapon. Let's not lie. A disease that has a survival rate of 99, let's say even 90, let's even go low. Let's try and make things even easier. 90. That's higher than tuberculosis. Sidanganyi. Then it means you're focusing on the wrong pandemics.
Yeah, because people die more of car accidents.
Daily.
Yeah.
I'm talking of, that's daily statistics.
Yeah.
Because there's a time, the thing I was saying, monotonous. It becomes monotonous that you get used to it.
And then you stop fearing it.
Yeah. That's why when I was saying about the Pizzagate, let me quickly go through it. They use children because children under 10 years or 9 years below have not experienced a lot. They've not watched much. So they're easily scared and they're easily excited. You get? A lollipop can excite them. A bad gesture can scare them the fuck out. When you're scared, the adrenaline pumps, the glands pump some chemicals to the blood, forming the adrenochrome. It is usually tapped through the head. That's why when you read through the Pizzagate emails, if you've read, Hillary requests babies, heated pools, fire, it's rituals. There's even an email she says nothing gets me excited than a Friday ritual. She was asking Hubadin. Hubadin was her assistant for her inhaler. And it makes sense when you go and start watching these things. Why am I saying it's a pandemic? Some presidents are profiting. When presidents like the one for Burundi, I'm not trying to say something, but it's really weird for me that you kick World Health Organization from your country and then you've never been seriously ill. You suddenly die. And if it's COVID-19, they're saying, or whatever, maybe killed him or whatever, see, the wife was brought to Kenya for medical assistance. I believe that he would have come as well. There's a way, see, Uhuru has left the country so many times. There's a way that president can excuse himself or herself. So the fact that he stayed means that he was healthy and he wanted to lead a country through a crisis. You get?
Yeah.
But him dying so suddenly started to raise questions. I remember someone else who died after suggesting that tunadanganywa, the whites, the organizations aligned. It was Gaddafi. Another one was Saddam. But we were all told these ones were terrorists. At the end of the day, people are making money. Bill Gates has been to Kenya. Bill Gates was last year or 2018 with Uhuru Kenyatta. We do not know what they spoke. when I last checked, people like Dr. Sebi, who said they cured people of AIDS, cancer, all those illnesses, they were taken to court, specifically the New York Supreme Court. It was 19 something. You can look it up.
And what was the charge?
Practicing, was it medicine without a license, a permit? Because he had posted an ad that he can cure cancer, all that on the newspaper.
Yeah.
He won the case without a legal defense team, just himself. And the only thing that made him win was the people he had cured.
Those were the witnesses.
Yeah, because he never he came and does diagnoses and then he just changed your diet. You just explain where specifically you're ailing, if it's the lungs, head, and then he looks for a certain diet that targets those parts. So the diagnosis was from whichever hospital you're coming from. You get?
He doesn't do it yourself.
Yes. And when these 70 plus people provided both before and after, and it's not from Dr. Sebi, it's actually from doctors in hospitals, government institutions, you just have to, because he was against physicians, the state, and I don't know, some
pharmacies.
Yeah, pharmacies.
Yeah.
And
the big pharma.
Yeah, if you listen to his interview, because he was interviewed later, there's a 1 hour lecture he gives. He says that I won because I was just genuinely honest and I did not insult anyone. When a physician said, you cannot cure AIDS, I did not disagree with them. I only told them, yes, according to your knowledge, you cannot cure AIDS. But according to what I have done, you can cure AIDS. You know, you're not disagreeing with anyone at the end of the day. That, I want to show you this. These people try and get our the bad in us. Anger, aggression, impulse. They don't want you to be calm. Yeah, we can go through an economic state or pandemic calm, can't we? Because as you use the cow perspective, it's about quarantine those ones who are sick. And yes, there's likelihood it will spread widely. But stop scaring people more. It makes things worse.
So I'm guessing you're a champion for the herd immunity.
Yeah, because let me use a funny example. Children, okay?
Yeah.
Right now, they're not in school. Only people, teenagers, maybe some of them, me, you, and adults will wear masks.
Yeah.
As we have our own reasons. Me, I have specifically mine. I do not have money for the cops. That's mine.
Yeah, like people.
That is mine generally. Not that
people are no longer wearing masks because of health.
It's been 4 months. I am not going to implicate myself, but it's been 4 months. I have had a flu 3 times within these 4 months. I'm not the only medication I will not. I always say, let me speak the truth. The only medication I took from pharmacy was a painkiller because I was really ailing at a time. It was very cold. But the other things were ginger, turmeric, lemon, aloe vera. I will not lie to you, just herbs. Right now I'm healthy, here with you. You see, my perspective is, if I can experience it, your 20 years of education should not lie to you. That's how even Dr. Sebi said, if I have done it and it's worked, this mother came with a child leukemia, I did it. They went back to the same hospitals. They came back, thank you, Dr. Sebi. That man has built his fortune, his house, and his life and legacy from doing that. He's among the few people who said a government or society that keeps a cure for profits are the real terrorists. Because that's what's happening. Funny, let me give you a funny perspective. If you were taught how to be healthy, yani you don't wake up sick, you stay healthy throughout your life, do you know you're one less patient for a doctor? Exactly. So do you believe that doctors keep you healthy?
So the idea is we don't want you to buy cars so that you don't walk and
you get
stay
lazy,
healthy.
eat Macs. That's why a cheeseburger is cheaper than salad.
They don't want you to eat the apple.
Thank you.
Like an apple a day keeps
salad,
the doctor away.
I looked at Kenya, maybe it's cheap because us we plant our own things.
Yeah.
When I looked at US, salad is $4-point-something, $3-point-something. Soda and burger is 1.5. That's 150. I was like, wait. Soda and burger 1.5, but salad is 3. Why are you making it easy for me to eat junk? And when you look at it, this Kina Bill Gates have shares in these companies. Yeah, we may say it's the business perspective, sour. But I do believe if I own a business or I am a brand, I will try as much as possible for my profits to always keep coming.
So how the kids, you were trying to explain something on
the
herd
kids.
immunity.
Kids
on the kids
are here playing together.
Yeah.
Me, home, Eastlands, me, I'm seeing kids together.
Yeah.
And it's not that from the same houses. Watch out at large. Kids coming from one estate to another estate, playing the same games they used to play during holidays. No, people are tired of reading.
Yeah.
Wezi bila guidance mtoye hawezi soma for 3 months or 4 months. Now I want to wonder, these parents who are saying, I am scared my kid will go to school and contract corona and come back with it. But at home, when you go for work, you're not scared this child is going to ride tires and play bano with other kids. And children are not wearing masks. Let's be honest. But they're healthy. Why? They're active. You understand? They are active. They are always running. Me hata skimbiangi. But my brother will run, arudi tu kwa nyumba kunye, hydrate tena atoke. Ajichafue arudi jioni ambiwe oga. That's the whole point. We generally are supposed to interact with our environment, whether the germs, the bacteria.
And that boosts your immune. When you're physically active, you're mentally active.
Yeah, and when your body is interacting
I get what you're saying.
with tiny germs, bacteria, your immunity iko active, inakumbushwa. But when we eat things like meat, the digestive system, when we have soda, junk, meat, all that, and alcohol, another one, the liver is specifically useful when digesting things and in kickstarting our immune system. But when it's targeted, you're giving it already a purpose. It cannot, our bodies are not multitaskers. Each organ has a purpose. Like if you did the heart, so you remember how it all flowed. This one, ikiflow vizuri, that's how it goes. That's how doctors spot problems. They just retrace if it's functioning the same. If it was just spontaneous, tungesema it's a miraculous thing we've never seen. The only thing that's as spontaneous as that, as we know, is the brain. Kids wame interact. Sisi had to interact. Let's look at 2 places. Sweden, they practiced herd immunity. Sweden si watu wako sawa sahi. The professor who was banned from YouTube is the one who said US is doing a bad thing about quarantining. Putting people in quarantine. Why? Vitamin D. Exercise. Vitamin D basically from the sun. Not the artificial multivitamin tablet you buy. The natural. Why are we going so artificial? If you saw the post I did last week, 2018, Bill Gates was proposing to block the sun.
What?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know what type of dust they will spray. And if
no, but the sun
Simpsons,
is the only source of energy.
Even
if
you've watched Simpsons,
yeah.
there is an episode where Mr. Burns actually looks like.
Wait, are you
Roster.
serious, dude?
I'm being.
Because if you look at it, we get
that's why
all the energy from plants.
Thank
right?
you. I'm
plants
even coming to that.
synthesize
Mr. Burns, I was even flagged for that post. I was told that I'm infringing copyrights, my Simpsons, whatever. And it's not the first video I've posted. I was linking Mr. Burns to Bill Gates. I wanted to show people how they use movies and cartoons. Just search Bill Gates blocks and you'll see some article. Bill Gates proposed blocking the sun.
And his approach was to plan to tackle climate change.
Thank you.
Okay.
But when even in cartoons like Simpson, there's a part Mr. Burns suggests, I will block the sun. And then the assistant, I've not forgotten, I've remembered his name. The assistant is like, plants, the same things you're mentioning. You see, plants, we need the sun as ourselves. A lot of things will suffer. And then Mr. Burns is like, for the money or something. That's my point. What does he stand to gain? This guy has wanted to patent seeds. Seeds are naturally occurring. How can you patent a seed? You did not create that plant.
All I'm wondering is, how did Gates come, in your eyes, come from being this tech tech magnet to this world, this evil person.
Okay, if we use him alone,
Yeah.
you will never understand. But if you follow the lineage,
Yeah.
like from the one from Planned Parenthood being called
Margaret.
the Negro Project, and then being passed down to Bill Gates' father, and then now you'll understand why Bill Gates gets into the picture well, and then ended up being in healthcare. You see, because who is the largest funder for vaccines? The Gates.
The Gates
Bill
Foundation.
and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah.
Who are the owners?
Bill and the wife.
Yeah. Is the wife a doctor?
Nope.
Is Bill Gates a certified doctor?
Nope.
But
But
when
look at it this way. He eradicated polio.
Chill, bro. Dr. Sebi cured people for free. It was just out of someone's, you've done something hospitals couldn't. Yo, brav, take this. You get it? It was him just, you could go to his place in Honduras, stay there with him, he teaches you diet. Because he said, I will use him because I have experienced it. Mucus is the problem. All diseases thrive in a body that's full of mucus. Yeah, there is a certain amount of mucus that is necessary in your body, but that's the entire problem. The junk we eat, it's always full of what? Mafuta. That's what goes ahead and forms the mucus formation, the layers and stuff. Obesity, US, it's very, very high. Kenya, it's the same thing. Me, I'm seeing very, very many big people. People will never talk about it because it's someone close to you, because it's your dad, it's your mom. But to be honest,
but I don't get why you approach it in a very... I saw there was a certain comedian, I'm not going to mention names. Is it a comedian or someone who makes vines? And she was coming out, it's not like you want to be obese sometimes. Yeah.
But listen to me, bro.
You know who I am talking about, right?
Listen.
She came out and posted
will never even
her
attack
photos.
Her. Me, I'll never even attack her. Nilimwambia direct, as in, because I don't like talking about people, okay?
Yeah.
Me, here's my issue. Stop telling people it's okay. Okay? Hata nilisema, I don't have an issue with LGBTQ. But y'all even don't know how your community started. It was LGBTP. P for pedophiles. It was changed to Q. Q for queer. No one knows that. Because those were things that were put on the low-key. It was started in the US as... I don't remember the name. And people defending themselves about the gayism and lesbianism with African, I can even use one culture that used it, the Nandi. Same-sex marriage was in the Nandi, and it was for women. When one woman is barren, she could marry another one to act as a surrogate.
For another man to come.
Yes, and he could have sex with both, or they could have sex, whatever. But not the man was not marrying the wife. It was the wife marrying the wives or wife.
And the kid stayed with both wives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and that practice was practiced pre-colonialism.
Yeah, that is Nandi. Because anytime I research about African, I always try to look for, is there a gay gene? No. Someone said when someone is amputated, nimeona some people said, whatever, let me just come quick to this and then I'll hit it there. It's a pandemic because there are people still profiting while we are in our homes locked.
Okay.
You see, there is fear being propagated. You cannot tell us you cannot go to... I don't support churches and mosque and religion because it is twisted, it is modern. But you cannot tell people you cannot go to churches, you cannot go to social gatherings, you need to maintain a social distance. But when those same people are rioting in your countries and counties, you're just, okay, they have a right. They have a right to riot. You get my point? And then when you backing your cause, blacks have been oppressed. Go and look at the Democrats. They've never signed anything supporting the blacks. When Donald Trump pardoned people, he pardoned 95% of them were black. Those people who were pardoned from prison. But we will never be told these things. We will only be told where he talks something bad about. Blacks talk negative every single day, but because you're black, we have that free pass for racism. We don't see that. So it's just planned. Keep the people in fear, divide and rule. Because now Black Lives Matter is being infiltrated by LGBTQ. You can see. They've started arguing in the streets.
Even the Instagram has a
It's
new
been like
feature.
that for the whole month. Yeah. And then when I looked, I like researching to validate. They're saying it's the Pride Month. See, they came out and said Simpson is gay. No, SpongeBob is gay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Sinocolodion posted and Avatar Korra.
Yeah.
Like, why are you insisting it on children? Put it in our content. We are adults. We can decide. These are children's, man. You cannot tell a girl it's okay to be a boy if you feel like. Let's be realistic. Even animals behave okay. Even plants know male and female. Doesn't make sense us trying
I saw a joke. I mean, they're saying the lesbian and the gay community depend on the straight people to propagate.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also for them, they came out from
Hear me out.
heterosexual.
Hear me out.
Yeah?
Hear me out. If I put 100 gay men in an island, just hear me out. And I put 100 lesbians on an island. And I give them 100 years to send me under the time frame age. What will happen? Practice whatever. Yeah, be yourselves, okay? What will happen after those 100 years? Will there be anything less? Thank you. So technically, if we decide, sawa, y'all...
For the purposes of reproduction, it makes a lot of sense. But for the purposes of free will and we're in modern times, right?
Yeah.
For the purposes of free will and people practicing their sexual practices however they want, it's already been engraved as a human right.
Fam.
So you have to find a balance between the both.
You've used the right word, human right.
Yeah.
Let me brain fuck you for a bit. Inaitwaje? It's a human right. We were told monogamy is a sin, but gayism and lesbianism is a human right. Think about that. Polygamy is a sin, I mean, as in marrying many wives or like...
Oh, you had said monogamy, so I was wondering.
Polygamy, like marrying many wives. And there
Yeah.
was another practice for a wife marrying many if the wife is rich.
Yeah.
That was turned to look like a sin.
Mm-hmm.
Spirituality, sacrifices were turned to look like a sin. But somehow gayism and lesbianism is a human right.
Okay. Touché. Anyway, we've talked a lot about the ongoing coronavirus situation, the pandemic. You've even talked about dynasties.
Yeah.
So you as an artist, you as a musician, musical artist, yeah? Moving forward, maybe post-corona, if there will ever be something like that.
It will. That's what they want to call the New World Order.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you see like the website for UN or UNICEF, it's actually UNNWO.org.
What does that mean?
UN, United Nations New World Order.
Oh, okay. Okay, so how do you plan on encapsulating your thoughts in your music?
I just said I like researching, I like reading, I like getting information. I just said, let me just put it out there. It's pointless keeping it, because the more you keep it to yourself, the more things will be like a burden. Because there are things that you discover that are ugly, like Pizzagate. That's very ugly. There's something called Elsagate, where YouTube recommends videos of kids, like Elsa from... Is it Frost?
Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen.
Yeah.
Elsa commits suicide. Elsa is pregnant with Spider-Man's baby. You know, those things are... I don't expect you to recommend such animations to a child. Get my point. They are manipulating us from a young age. They are controlling us because it's either Disney or Hollywood. Cartoon Network or... But look at cartoons now. Gay characters. I don't know, they were trying to turn Spider-Man to be gay. It's a lot to take in. But when you follow the money, you will understand how the control is. Just follow the the pyramid tree, you will understand we are the ones holding the tables and it's just us to stand up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we gonna see like a conspiracy theory album?
Yeah, something like that. Let's say just an album mixed with a lot of content.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not just say conspiracy, because you still have to entertain people. I'm an entertainer. That's the whole essence of music. But I believe that I wasn't skilled or talented for just entertaining. There is more than that. Yeah, people are not great just because they made you laugh.
Okay, as we wind up, you can plug yourself. You can tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, so my handles, Twitter, Instagram, at Clay OG Stoner, Clay _OG _Stoner, YouTube, Clay OG Stoner, or just Google me, Clay OG Stoner. You'll get everything.
All right, and that has been our 72nd episode. Thank you for listening, and for those watching, leave a comment below, subscribe to our channel, leave a rating if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.